Welcome to the Relationship Workout for Men podcast. This episode is just a preview of what you'll find in the full Relationship Fitness for Men program. If you're serious about building a stronger, happier relationship, check out relationshipfitness.com to access all episodes, plus tools to assess and improve the quality of your relationship and your very own on-demand and private AI relationship coach. Visit relationshipfitness.com to learn more.
Welcome to Relationship Workout for Men, a podcast dedicated to helping men be intentional in choosing a better partner and being a better partner for the person they choose. Season 21, Men Navigating Strength, Vulnerability, and Addictions. Today I'm speaking with Roni Maislish, a clinical social worker and psychotherapist working for 20 years on psychological roots of emotional eating, food addiction, and obesity. So episode 1, Vulnerable from Birth. In this episode, we're going to discuss the role childhood trauma has on men's journey through adulthood. Welcome, Roni, and what do you think about this topic?
I'm so happy to be here, Vince. Wow. I think that for many male, we are not, never, none of, our parents, our teachers, our, grandfather doesn't teach us how to speak about our emotions, our inner world in a way. Mm-hmm. And you need to learn that. You need to learn to be vulnerable. You need to learn to open your heart, because in our society, we went so far away from our true self, from our nature. We are not living in a jungle. Maybe we're living in another kind of a jungle. But, maybe in my country, maybe in your country, sometimes we expect from men to be strong, to be tough, and, to show your, inner emotional, your very deep emotions. Mm-hmm. It could be sadness, it could be sorrow, it could be being alone, be lonely, be neglect. So sometimes it's dangerous for a man, to bring those emotions. So you need to, first of all, to have someone that can, teach you something about that, about emotions, about how to distinguish between emotions, and about how you can, bring those emotions to the world. Mm-hmm. And you need to feel that you have a safe zone, like an area, like a world, like a community, like your people, that you can bring those emotions outside. And I think if more men will be, you will be feeling that they have those inner strengths and inner understanding how to do all of that, men will have a more deep conversations, like we are trying to do right now. Right. I think more deep conversation between men, between fathers and children, between teacher and students will help more men to have like a more meaningful relationships in their life. And we said that we're going to also speak about addictions. I think the cure for addictions, it's meaningful, intimate conversations.
So
ask me. Please.
So what is the how does a childhood impact this? So is the trauma in childhood, why is it our childhood that gets us to this place that we're at right now, where we can't necessarily express our emotions?
So, a lot of people speaking about, trauma. So sometimes trauma, it's like a specific event, it could be like an accident, could be like a war, it could be terror attack, could be shooting in high school. But I'm more into complex trauma, CPTSD. And complex trauma could be very hidden. It could be speaking about emotional neglect or emotional starvation, something very, very specific and hidden that repeated every day, that you felt that no one understands you, no one see you, no one have any, bring you some kind of guidance to your life. And that could be also a trauma. And it's very hidden. So many of us could be traumatized by those very small, event. It's not like someone was hitting you as a child, but someone, didn't love you enough or understood you enough and walk in your shoes enough. Being empathy. What is empathy all about? And if that happened, so you don't have relationships, not just with, people or your family or your friend. You don't have like meaningful and deep relationship with life. You're not into life. You are very, you isolate yourself. And then sometimes when, later on in your life, you bring your addictions to help you to stay disconnect from life. So being in life could be dangerous because when you be in a life, you will have some kind of a connections with emotions. But if you don't know how to manage those emotions, you don't know how to express those emotions. You don't have like a secure environment to work on those emotions. So you prefer to be, outside of this world.
So it's like if you have this complex trauma, it's fascinating. So and it's not as overt as abuse, like you got hit or something like that. Neglect could be subtle, and it could be what you just expect. I mean, you don't realize that you're in this complex trauma, and you become disconnected, and then you brought in addictions and things like that can keep you. Can you connect that back again?
Yeah, I will try. I think it's more covert than overt.
Yeah,
it's more unseen trauma. In the last 10 years, I think more professionals, mainly in your country, speaking about covert narcissists. So how the covert and not the overt narcissist is, abusing a person. So sometimes it's, the mother and father could be kind of like a very nice person, will never hit, will never say something in public against the child, but they will play some kind of a victim. So the child need to treat his mother or his father all through his life. So I'm thinking about my patient that have the same, tendency, so his grandparents always, admire him that he become, grown up very early in his life. He was like 5, 6. Oh, you're grown up. It's beautiful. No, it's a complex trauma because he's taking care of all of the family in a way. He's the golden child of this family. Yeah, it's maybe lucky him, or I don't know if lucky him, that he's not the scapegoat of the family, but also the golden childs in the family, sometimes in their 40s, 50, can severe from depression and addiction because something changed in their life, and they can only then, after 30, 40 years, realized that they were in depression, like when they were in childhood, during all of their childhood. So it's more subtle, it's more hidden, it's more unseen, and I think more professional now approaching and engaging this kind of trauma.
Wow. How would someone identify if they're a victim of this complex covert trauma? Like, do they have to wait till they're in their 40s and 50s? Like,
wow, it's so subjective and individualic, but most of the time, some kind of an accident happened. And this kind of an accident just take them away from their normal life. And they must, if they want to continue their physical life or emotional life, they need to, observe themselves. They need to introspect, into themselves, and then asking questions. And when you're starting to ask questions, it's kind of a door, to start working on your complex trauma. And it's only the starting point.
Is that starting point just asking that question? Because it would seem like every man is a victim of covert trauma because I mean, none of our fathers, I mean, they were victims of what you just described from their fathers and their fathers beforehand, right? I mean,
Of course. Yeah, I think because of that, I don't feel that, it's enough to do the therapy or the therapy work only on the psychic or the inner side of a person. It's a society disease. So our society is sick, and most of our parents, our teacher, our counselors through childhood didn't have enough tools, emotional tools, to work with us. But so for me, my work is that I will start to do the change with my child, with my patients, with my friends, with my colleagues, with everyone who I can, be with in a conversation. And I think that men, because of that, most of their conversations, most of their relationships, also with their wife, sometimes are very shallow and, on the surface. And, my work is trying to bring those conversations more and more and more into the root level or the inner level of the conversation. And sometimes most of them will have a lot of resistance because it's kind of a different language. So it's like speaking, like learning a different language, because they didn't, grew up on this language. And sometimes my language or this language, it's the opposite language that they, study in their houses. Like a lot of, a lot of families saying, you're not allowed to cry here, or the anger, it's not part of this house, all sort of, if the mother sees her child is sad, so it's make her sad, or it's terrifying her. So yeah, so it's like a multi-dimensional, I don't know, there's a lot of levels to this kind of healing work in a way.
So it's like you're disconnected from your childhood and you don't even realize how disconnected you are in your relationship because it's just what you're used to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm, my second program of psychotherapy is named self-psychology psychotherapy by a person named Kohut from Chicago. He died 40 years ago. But the name of his second book is The Restoration of the Self. So how can we help people to restore their, in quote words, nuclear self, natural self, in the words of Winnicott, true self. So this is the work that I'm trying to do with people.
Wow.
What is our nuclear self? Maybe we had our nuclear self for a day. Let's try to restore this nuclear self.
Well, it just sounds like fantastic work every one of us need to do. I think we're going to continue on this topic in the next episodes because I think this sets the table for the next episodes. We're going to close on episode 1, Vulnerable from Birth. And in the next episode 2, we're going to discuss men need to have purpose, which I suspect has its roots in what we just talked about. Thank you very much, Roni, and I will see you in the next episode.
Thank you, Vince.
Thanks for listening. To listen to all episodes in this season, visit relationshipfitness.com. There, you'll find not only a complete library of episodes, but also aligned playbook articles, tools designed to help you assess, improve, and manage the quality of your relationship, and your very own AI relationship coach to get private, on-demand coaching whenever you need it. Go to relationshipfitness.com to start transforming your relationship today for more fun and less drama.